If you love stories that truly touch your soul, stories that stay with you long after they end, don't forget to subscribe, because your support keeps these stories alive. On a burning day in 1878, I was sold like cattle to the highest bidder. But the man who bought me had no idea. He just purchased the daughter of the most feared judge in Arizona. The desert didn't forgive. It swallowed secrets, buried truth beneath layers of dust, and turned people into shadows of who they once were. And on that burning afternoon in 1878, I became one of those shadows. They lined us up like animals. Women, girls, some barely old enough to understand what was happening. Others old enough to know there was no escape. Chains clinked. Men laughed. The auction had begun. I stood still, my wrists tied, my face lowered, not in submission, but in calculation. Because I wasn't broken. Not yet. And I wasn't just another girl to be sold. I was waiting. The auction. Step forward. The voice of the auctioneer cracked through the air like a whip. A rough hand shoved me from behind, forcing me onto the wooden platform. The crowd grew quiet. Eyes scanned me like I was nothing more than livestock. Strong build, the auctioneer announced. Healthy. Good worker. Maybe more, if you're the type. Laughter erupted. I kept my face blank. Starting at $20. 25. 30. The numbers climbed quickly, voices overlapping. Each bid felt like a nail sealing my fate. Then suddenly, 50. The voice was calm, firm, different. The crowd fell silent. I lifted my eyes just enough to see him. A cowboy. Tall. Broad shoulders. Dust-covered coat. His hat shadowed his face, but there was something in the way he stood, something steady. Not cruel. Not desperate. Just distant. 50 going once, going twice. The gavel slammed. Sold. Just like that. I belonged to him. The buyer. He didn't smile. Didn't celebrate. Didn't even look at me properly. He simply handed over the money and gestured with his head. Come. That was it. No threats. No promises. Just one word. I followed. Because I had no choice. But also because I needed to. The ride into nowhere. We rode for hours. The desert stretched endlessly, golden and merciless. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in blood-red hues. Still, he said nothing. Finally, he spoke. You got a name. I hesitated. Names were dangerous. But silence was worse. Anna, I said. It wasn't my real name. Not even close. But it would do. He nodded. Don't try to run, he added. You won't survive out here. I almost smiled. He had no idea who he was talking to. The ranch. His land sat miles from anything resembling civilization. A small wooden house. A stable. A windmill creaking in the dry wind. Lonely. This is where you'll stay, he said. You work, you eat. You cause trouble, you leave. Simple rules. Too simple. Understood? He asked. Yes, I replied quietly. But inside, I was already planning. The truth about me. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. The wind whispered outside like ghosts of the past. And mine were louder than most. My name wasn't Anna. It was Eliza Whitmore. Daughter of Judge Henry Whitmore. A man feared across the Arizona territory. A man who had put criminals behind bars without hesitation. A man who had made enemies. Dangerous enemies. 3 months ago, those enemies came for him. They didn't just kill him. They erased him. And me along with him. I was kidnapped. Stripped of my identity. Sold. Not for money. But to make sure I disappeared. But they made one mistake. They didn't kill me. Learning the cowboy, days turned into weeks. I worked, cooked, cleaned, helped with the animals, and watched. Daniel Carter, that was his name, was unlike any man I had known. He didn't drink, didn't gamble, didn't even talk much. But there was something buried inside him. Pain, loss, maybe guilt. He treated me fairly, too fairly, and that made everything harder. Because one day, I might have to use him. The first sign of trouble. It happened at dusk. A figure appeared on the horizon, riding fast. Daniel saw him before I did. His entire posture changed. Inside, he ordered. I obeyed, but not before stealing another glance. And my blood ran cold. I recognized that rider, even from a distance. A ghost from my past. The man dismounted slowly, confidence dripping from every movement. Carter, he called out. Long time. Daniel didn't respond. The man smiled. I heard you bought something at the auction. I froze. His voice. I knew it. Cole Mercer. One of the men who murdered my father. One of the men who sold me. Don't know what you're talking about, Daniel said coldly. Cole chuckled. You might want to take another look at what you bought. My heart pounded. Did he recognize me? Or was he just guessing? Either way, this wasn't good. The truth revealed. That night, Daniel confronted me. Who are you? No anger. Just quiet intensity. I had a choice. Lie, and run. Or tell the truth, and risk everything. I'm not Anna, I said. He didn't react. Then who are you? I took a breath. My name is Eliza Whitmore. Silence filled the room. The judge's daughter. He asked slowly. Yes. And the men today, they killed my father. I met his eyes. And they'll come back for me. The decision. Morning came with tension in the air. I expected him to throw me out. Or worse, hand me over. Instead, he saddled 2 horses. Get ready, he said. For what? He handed me a rifle. To end this. I stared at him. Why help me? He paused. Then said quietly. Because I know what it's like to lose everything. The hunt. We tracked them for 2 days. Through dust storms and endless plains. Daniel taught me how to shoot properly. How to survive. How to stay calm. But he didn't know. I already had a different kind of training. The kind you learn growing up around lawmen. The kind that teaches you where to aim. And when. The final confrontation. We found them near an abandoned camp. 5 men. Laughing. Drinking. Unaware. Daniel looked at me. This is your fight, he said. I nodded. But he stood beside me anyway. The first shot broke the silence. Chaos erupted. Gunfire echoed through the desert. 1 man fell. Then another. Daniel moved like a storm. Fast, precise. I focused on one face. Cole Mercer. He saw me. Recognition flashed in his eyes. Eliza, he whispered. I stepped forward. You should have killed me when you had the chance. He smirked. You think you've won. I didn't answer. I pulled the trigger. After everything, silence returned. The kind that follows violence. The kind that feels heavier than noise. Daniel stood beside me. It's over, he said. I nodded. But it didn't feel like victory. Just empty. What now? He asked. I looked at the horizon. For the first time in months. I had no plan. A new beginning. You could stay, he said. Simple. Honest. I looked at him. The man who bought me like cattle. But gave me something no one else did. A choice. And maybe, a future. The desert wind blew softly. And for the first time, it didn't feel like a curse. Sometimes, the people who seem like your captors turn out to be the ones who set you free. Please friends spot my channel, subscribe for more stories.